Welcome back to the Chiron Intensive. I am Kiera.
And I'm Zetha. The Chiron Intensive is a space where we dive deep into healing. Inspired by Chiron, the wounded healer, this podcast explores how our struggles can become our strength. It's about real talk, real growth, and creating community for young adults who deserve to thrive.
We all know about the pressure to get our lives together by 21.
But everybody's journey is different, so you can't compare your life's journey with another's.
Whether that pressure is from family, society, the economy, your community, or yourself, we are going to discuss our experiences and how to navigate that.
Absolutely. So, in this episode, we'll be diving in the topic of being pressured to have your life together by 21, child.
And it's I mean, some people, if you were born with money and, family support and everything is easy, peasy, lemon squeezy, it is easy to have your life together by 21. If you are like the rest of us, that possibility just is not there. And that's just reality, right?
Exactly.
Because when you were 5 years old, what you dreamt about when you were 5 years old could be a whole lot different from your reality. And I know when I was 5 years old, I was going to be everything under the sun. What about you? When you were 5 years old, what did you imagine you'd be doing? And do you feel like you're anywhere there now?
Honestly, yeah, I really did feel like I would just be anything and everywhere. And I literally was like, yeah, like, Zilka, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, and you gotta do this. And pretty much, like, it was to be a, like, famous actress, honestly. That was one of them. And then I wanted to make sure I have a house and all the money in the world where I could go shopping when I want. And then giving all my money to as much money as possible to charities and causes. And honestly, I thought I was just going to have my own big house, be an actress, and all that stuff when I was 5.
I was going to be a movie star. I was going to be a model. I was going to be all of these things. I was going to be rich. I was going to have all this money to do so much with. I actually was in a fashion show when I was 5. I did like the little model thing for a little bit when I was 5. So that's what got my head there. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a movie star. I could do movies. I can act like that. I can do this. And my mother worked, she's the NYPD cop, chained to an overnight shift. Like, girl, who's taking you to these auditions that you need to go to? Be for
No,
real.
for real. For real. I really was just like, okay, I'm going to convince my mom and dad to let me go to auditions. And then I'd be like, and I'm going to be on Nickelodeon and Disney. And I'm going to be,
My father passed when I was 2 years old. So it was just my mother. I was mostly raised by my grandmother. And my grandmother was forced to retire. I told you she was forced to retire because of her health issues. Mm-hmm. So who is taking you to these auditions? So it just wasn't in the stars for me. It was not in the stars for me to be some superstar, but that's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
That is okay, because man, I think it's like kind of like a good thing that you do dream so big at 5. Like, I feel like it has to be like a good developmental thing, because I don't know, like, at least we weren't cynical at 5, because goodness, being a child wouldn't be as fun.
Oh, but I told you my imagination is wild. It's been that, like, I've gotten it under control now. It was bigger back then. Like, I was a writer back then too. I used to write little stories. My grandmother always told me, you're going to be a writer. Like, you're going to be a writer. She's always said that. I used to write songs. I used to write poems. I even wrote songs for I was partnered up with NYU in high school for summer. I
Wow.
wrote songs to a play that we did an adaptation of Shakespeare a few times, like different
Hmm.
plays of his, and I wrote modern day songs to go with it, and it was super cool. So I did have that experience. I did have some, a little 5 minute fame, little taste of it.
A little
Um,
taste.
but I was never going. It was never in the stars for me to be on Disney or Nickelodeon because again, who is taking you to these auditions, girlfriend? It's just not realistic.
Oh my goodness.
But
Oh my goodness.
I've always been a writer. So I would say, um, if I'm anywhere now where I wanted to be at 5, it's that I am still passionate about writing and telling stories, and not just my story, but diving deeper into other characters. But each of my characters have a piece of me in them.
Right.
So that's one thing that I can say. And I did interrupt you. I'm sorry. What about
Oh
you?
no, 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 you're all good because well, we talking about for the first question, right?
Yeah, you didn't say, do you feel like you're anywhere now?
Oh
What do you
yeah.
think you took from your 5-year-old self?
I feel like I still took that passion of wanting to be a performer, and I think it grew to like now instead of like be like in just being in front of the attention, I am interested in like the background. So like I'm interested in like the directing and producing. And I've done it now. I can say I got the credit, right? And I feel like I fulfilled that inner child by like acting and stuff. And I still pursue it, even though I'm paused a little bit right now, but I feel like that in a way I'm not all the way there, and now the goal isn't to be famous, of course, because fame doesn't really mean anything to me now. um but I feel like, yeah, that little 5-year-old is like, oh my gosh, but you did that, that's so cool, you did that, that is so cool, like, yeah, like, and then I've also been able to explore more into writing because I didn't do that much writing when I was younger. Like it would be like more storytelling, like verbally or acting out what I was like saying. And I would but I did enjoy like making like little songs and stuff. Like that was fun too, growing up. So I feel like it did evolve, right? Like I didn't completely
Yeah.
stray away from it. And it's also interesting how like what I wanted at 5 isn't quite what I wanted right now because I don't really care about the fame. I just want to get paid.
Yeah.
I just want to get
I've
paid.
Yeah, I've come to realize that I like being in the background. I don't want to be in the front. I don't want to be on anybody's TV screen. I mean, obviously if it ever came to it where I'm giving like interviews or like something like that, I like the background. I like working in the background. I like writing. I like when I wanted to do film, I really wanted to do film writing, directing, producing, and not
Mhm.
really being in front of the camera. And I'm really good at recognizing other people as talent, right? I'm really good at recognizing other people's strengths and talents. So that's one thing that I can take away from that as well.
That is beautiful. So then, now that we've are living life, right? We're not past our youth. I still think we are young, right? What would you say so
A
far is
little
one of
bit.
your nothing a
Maybe
little
you
bit.
are.
I still view you as young, okay?
I'm young spirited. I'm young spirited. Okay. I'm getting up
Oh,
there.
oh my goodness.
Oh,
Well,
I'm getting
what
up
would you
there.
say is one of your greatest achievements in life? I want to have this moment to see if there's anything you want to give yourself kudos.
I have not achieved what I want to achieve yet. I would say my current right now, like if I had to, choose something right now, I would say my greatest achievement is making it through my life, being alive right now.
Right.
I know that sounds like, oh my God, like I have to say that my greatest achievement is making it through each and every day, and not allowing not allowing hurdles to get in my way, to stop me, to discourage me. I'm very, very resilient, and I can get back up on my feet very easily.
Hmm.
I'm always bouncing back, always. One of my favorite songs is Bounce Back by, what is his name? Big Sean?
Oh, might have been enough, but tonight I bounced back.
That, first of all, that song came on. It's gonna sound, and it's spooky season. That song came on when I knew my grandmother had passed, because the day that she, first of all, the day that she passed, my, like in the middle of the night, my TV turned on,
Whoa.
like out of nowhere, it turned on. And it started, one of the things that my TV used to do was like flip through the movies, like whatever shows were available on my home screen, it would flip through the movies on its own. And the movies that it was flipping through, it was like telling me a story. That was the first sign.
Whoa.
Second sign, the morning, like a couple of hours later, um, I noticed missed calls from my family. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I didn't call them back just yet because I was driving in my car, and that song came on, and there's a lyric in the song where he's like, my grandma just passed, I'm the man of the house now.
That is crazy.
And
Oh my
that's what
goodness.
told me, that confirmed. I already had an inkling, but that confirmed it 100%. Um,
Wow.
but that song reminds me of my life.
Hmm. Now I need to like listen to the lyric. I mean, the song, because I haven't heard it in a minute. But it like you feel like it like told the story of like how you always are always going to like a boomerang. You're always going to come back. Like you're always bouncing back.
Yes, it I used to listen to that song a lot in my 20s. So, yeah, I mean, we're talking about making it at 21. So that song made helped me through. A lot of Lana Del Rey helped me through. Lana Del Rey helped me heal from a breakup. That first, I don't know if that was her first album, but the Born to Die album,
Hmm.
that album really helped me heal from a breakup. Really did. Now that I'm older and I listen to that, I'm like, this is probably not the healthiest thing to listen to. But but back then it was very soothing, and her voice is very soothing. Um yeah, I used to listen to a lot of Big Sean because a lot of his music is about resilience and bouncing back and making it through tough times. Janae, a lot of artists that just have a message about surviving
So
a hard
that is
time.
interesting, and it's a great. I feel like using the power of music to notate your life is also like a great achievement. And little side note, I just look back and I see that Big Sean's Bounce came out in 2017. So that's really really interesting. Like I'm just envisioning like little Kiera just listening to the song when it first came out, and like yeah, like I'm gonna bounce back.
2017, is that when
Oh, I'm
2017?
wrong. It was 2016 when it came out. The album came out in
2016.
2017.
Okay, okay. So 2016. Yeah, I used to listen to that a lot. I'm trying to think. That was my first child when he was born.
Wow. And
So
timely. Very
that's
timely song.
interesting that I was listening to it then. I always love to like look back at like what year was this, or what was I doing during this period?
Hmm.
Because I also remember that song Ashley that he came out with. That came out a few years, maybe like 2014 or 2013, one of those early 20 somethings. And that was on replay. That also helped me get through a breakup. That was that it was like a song. It was Lana, that song, and Janae just on replay during that breakup period.
And you had to help you stick it through. I support that. I support that. Um, to share for my response to my question earlier, that I kind of would say is like kind of like I was also going to say the same thing how you were saying earlier about just like being able to like push through and still make it so far in life. Like I feel like that's one of my greatest achievements because there was a point in time where I was just so depressed I didn't even think I was gonna be here to 25. So I'm like, oh, I actually did. I surprised myself.
That's yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I still go through things. I'm still going through stuff, still, making it through hurdles. And I'm just happy to make it to the end of each day and
Right.
start the next day at this point because I haven't really achieved what I want to achieve yet. So I can't say what my greatest achievement is. But I am proud of myself for everything that I have achieved. I mean, I've graduated um, school several times. I feel like I'm a forever student at this point. Um, I am doing my best with everything that I create or want to create. I'm doing my best. And I think, just like you said, you are doing your best.
Right.
And we are allowed to pat ourselves on the back for that. That that is an achievement.
That is an achievement. And I mean, honestly, I have to give myself a big pat on the back for college because it was so hard just kind of doing it all alone with not the same amount of support that every other person could have. So like, yeah, I feel like I'm expecting for more to be achieved.
Yes. Yes. Keep going because it's worth it, right?
Hmm.
Whatever it is that you want to do, you can. It may take some time, it may take a lot of effort, but you have the drive and the energy to get it done.
That's right.
So, like I mentioned earlier, there is no single path to follow in your 20s. There are different goals, aspirations, and circumstances that will take you on a whirlwind in life. But you are young, so it is okay to not have it all together. This is actually the time frame in your life where you are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to figure out who you are.
And I'm glad. I mean, it still took me a while to realize that, but like now that I'm 25, I'm like, oh wait, like maybe what I done, like kind of like I don't want to say to minimize my mistakes because some mistakes could have been avoidable in my life, but I'm like, oh, I didn't have to put all that pressure on myself. It really wasn't that necessary. Like I was like, I'm like type A, but also not type A. And when I say type A, it's kind of like I have like I mainly used to have. I don't think it's bad now, where I would like journal and just be like, something you didn't do what you're supposed to do in this life, da 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 da. And then I'd be like, you didn't do this and this and that, even though there was no chance you was gonna have the money to do this. You should have done it anyways and found a way. And I was like, that's too much pressure. That's too much pressure. Like I'm doing all these other great things. Like I put that pressure on myself.
I know. And I think it only gets worse as you get older. I'm sorry to tell you all, it's only going to get worse.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's just like I think like now that because when I was younger, I used to think, especially like as a theater major, that it would need it like I had to have done these productions at a certain time and I have to be doing this by the time I graduate. And like so many things that were out of my control made it very unlikely to do certain things. But then on the other hand, I still did other things that I'm like could be proud of. So it's just like one day it just clicked in my head. I was like, that old you that probably would have beat yourself up that you're not in a feature film right now. Like it don't matter. Like you did what you could. Like there's things you did that nobody else did just yet. Like, and that's fine.
It is. It is fine and it is okay. And don't beat yourself up about it because there's always going to be something that you could have done, you should have done, and maybe you didn't get to do. And that's okay. And even celebrities talk about things that they haven't achieved yet. And I mean, that's okay.
Exactly. And you know, um, that type of dynamic, that's like um the factor that I would label it is yourself, like yourself putting that pressure. And I think we have to like teach ourselves, especially as we're getting older, right? Um like we were talking about, we were 5, like, you know, we said we do all these things, but it doesn't quite feel just like pressure all the way until like once we get older. But I think as you get older, while you're still young, that you have to learn that sometimes you have to just shut out from your brain, like in your brain, shut out all the external factors like yourself, your family, your friends, communities, society, even how the economy is looking right now. So, because sometimes I just be like, oh my gosh, the economy is ruining my youth. But I'm like, nope, I'm not going to let it. You just got to remind yourself that you're doing the best that you can in your life, right? Like, we can only control what we control. And then there's everything else that affects you, you know? Like, and I feel like um sometimes that pressure to try to have it together is because if it's coming for yourself, it's because like you're trying to achieve something, you're trying to get out of something, or you're tired of something, right? And I think that's fine. It's just that it can't get unrealistic. Like, remember, it's your willpower. So if you are genuinely tired from something in your life, you want to change, or there's something you're trying to attain, you have the will to get it. Just remember all the other factors you don't have a control, and take that just take the step, take that first step. And there was this quote I came across that said the most important step a man can take is the next one. And that's it. That's really it. You just got to take a step. Like, anything that you fear, anything that's holding you back, like, I just think if you try to take a step towards it, then I think that is what matters more than allowing all this pressure to have a specific finite goal, like set, done. That's all your success. You got everything in the world right then and there. Like, you can't calculate every single thing in your life.
Yeah, and you also have to understand what you see as successful, somebody else may not see as successful. So your measure of success is always going to be different from other people, and that's okay. Some people may think that, hey, I made it to I worked this job for 10 years. I'm successful, right? I
Right.
mean, even if it's, oh, I worked at McDonald's for 10 years, I'm successful. That is their version of success. Who are we to tell them that they are not successful for doing that?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, the measure of success is different for everyone. And I do think we have to stop putting so much pressure on ourselves to validate other people. Is it validating other people, or we are wanting the validation of other people? So we
Mm-hmm.
are putting all this pressure on ourselves to perform. And we mentioned last time that takes up so much energy.
And you know, it takes us so much energy because in a way it's like deep down it's not you. Like, it's probably not what
Exactly.
your true self wants anyways. And then like it's tiring trying to attain something that's just a ghost of what should be, when it's like not what you could really try to attain in your reality with your hard work, your personal luck. Like, you know, like, in every person's like vision of success, like how you're saying, is different. Like, somebody could be happy working at McDonald's because maybe through working at McDonald's, they reached their financial goals, they paid off their car, and all they have to do is just work and then go home, spend time with their family, and maybe have some off days to go on vacation. And that's success. And honestly, that don't sound, I mean, it's like, you know, that don't sound too bad. Just shoot, just work and then
Sure
take a
does.
vacation. Even though, yeah, I know it's McDonald's and we have reviews on that. I'm going on the tangent. But yeah, like, like that. Like, and there's like and I keep on talking about theater, but like I think about just even like where there's some people who maybe try to strive for fame, and then there's some like me, I'm just like, I just want to get paid. Like I used to kind of feel like, oh my gosh, like people have to, so they don't feel so, because I don't want people to think I just wasted my time or trying to waste my time getting a degree in theater, because now everybody's gonna try to see if like I'm successful. And I'm like, one, I don't matter that much. Like, and I mean that in a way very like outside, like you was just looking at Earth as a whole. Like I know I matter. Like I'm not talking about my actual self-worth, but what I'm talking about is, girl, just it don't matter. If I do, I do. But I just, my personal goal is, I just want to say I get paid doing what I love doing. That's it. But I used to
Yeah.
kind of worry in the back of my head, like, Zilta, you have to like be booking something, and it has to be like social proof that you just didn't like, that you was that girl in high school that said you was gonna want to do it. Because there was a point in time in high school that I was like shouting it from my chest, yeah, I'm gonna be one. Yeah, I am. Because I feel like, yeah, I am. But then I started, but some of it was coming from a place like, yeah, and I'm going to prove you and I'm going to show you wrong that I can do it, because my competitive side came out. But I learned that I'm competing with myself. My competition is that I'm doing what I said I wanted to do, and I did it to my best ability. So I let go of that. And now it's just, am I on my path to getting paid? And that's what my success looks like for
I
me.
know.
Right. So,
I think
yeah.
that there are so many people that measure their success based on what their parents want for them. I know people who are studying to be doctors because their parents want them to be that, knowing that they dread going to school every day, knowing that they hate the environment that they're in. They actually want to move maybe across the country, but they won't do that because of what their family expects of them, and it holds them back in so many ways, and it's making them miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all been there where we have done things to get applause from other people, but we really have to sit back and ask ourselves, is this healthy for me?
Exactly. And it's like all that strength, that willpower, that that you use to go through all of that, it could have been transmuted into something else. So like I know sometimes some people just fear that if they don't follow those set expectations or pressures, that it means they don't have success. And that's not quite true either. Like it's like we're essentially just saying like there the, it doesn't come from a healthy place, you know.
Yeah. And I do just want to reiterate that success does look different for everyone. There are small wins. And I always, always, always say to set realistic goals, because when we have these inflated ideas, it's great for children to dream big. It's great for children to know these are the opportunities that they have ahead for them. But once you reach a certain age and you have a certain skill set, you want to be very realistic about um the goals that you're setting for yourself, so that you are not over promising something to yourself and then becoming depressed.
Oh yes. You know, I heard like that there was this thing called, is it cognitive dissonance, when like the, I think it's like, you heard of that word before, cognitive dissonance, when
Yep.
you say one thing but your brain is seeing another. I feel like that would cause like some cognitive dissonance when you're, oh, what were you from what we were saying earlier, when you're just like over promising, you know, overinflating, and then you're like, dang, I didn't see that, and then you revert. Now you're strengthening beliefs that you are nothing, or you don't do the right thing, and then you become depressed. Like,
Exactly, because the it's same thing with overpromising to people, right? You let them down. So you don't want to let yourself down. You want to be realistic, be for real,
exactly.
be flexible, right?
Right. And whenever I think about like the pressure to have it all and like hearing the pressures from others or expectations, and then maybe in reverse, you start to look at other people, look at their lives on social media and start comparing, right? You like we all heard of the quote, right? The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Um, and pretty much that's just saying everybody's life isn't picture perfect. No matter what you see on social media, or no matter how much somebody boasts, or no matter how much somebody says, my life turned out this way because I did this and you should do it too. Like there there is always more to the story, where once if you were to ever hear the full story down to the finite detail, it would still like all narrow down to the notion that your life is your life and you can only control what you do, and you have to be compassionate with yourself, set real expectations and accountability for yourself, and then face those challenges head on if you can, ask for help, um, and stick to the hard work that you may have to do for whatever you're trying to attain. Like, so if you're looking at somebody else's life and you kind of want what they have, or you feel like they just have the perfect life in general, try not to envy it. If you can maybe study what they do, or take bits and pieces, that's okay. But I think like not basically taking an image and making it something else that it isn't is going to hurt you more than help you. When you could maybe just at least take some tips, take some ideas, but never make it be the full image.
Yeah, never use social media as a tool for measuring someone's success, because people show you on social media what they want to show you. I will tell you myself, I do not mess with social media. I literally post what I need to post and I get off of social media. I turn off the alerts. I have no alerts that come somebody is coming down the road on the wrong side of the street. What is going on? It is definitely spooky season. And I just said somebody is coming down the road on the wrong side of the street. This is life, right? This is what I mean. Like, you cannot measure your success based on someone else's path, because their path may be backwards.
Right. Just like the person on the street.
Their path may be backwards, but they're presenting themselves to be something else on social media, right?
Right.
So never use social media as a tool to measure anybody's success, because people will show you what they want to show you. They don't show you everything. They, if somebody
Exactly.
wants to present themselves to be one thing, that's what they're going to present themselves to be. I use social media as a marketing tool, and that's it. And I'm not even good at that. I literally have to hire somebody for marketing, because that's how much I don't like social media. I really don't. It's dangerous. There's more negative effects to it than positive for me.
You know what? Like, and that's why I kind of like I mentioned it because I have to be very careful with social media. Like I use it, but not that much. I mainly use it to maybe communicate with people, but even then sometimes I'd be leaving people on read for I mean not even read, delivered, because I didn't even know I was getting messages. But like there was a point in time where I found myself like on there and then feeling like drained because I'd just be like, dang, I'm not doing that. Dang, I can't do good photos like that. And I was comparing myself, and then I just had to be like, Zephyr, you got bills to pay. You know, like you're doing what you can to make sure those
Yeah,
bills
I
are
don't have
paid.
time to be on social media. I just
So
don't.
exactly. So it's just like, I told myself if I'm ever on there before I start to get my heart hurt when I see all the amazing things that my peers are doing, I just be like, you know what? They auditioned or worked so hard for that. I'm gonna work so hard for that too. And then I get off. Don't need to stay on the social media anymore longer. Or you know what?
Yeah.
Period. They got featured in this. I can do it too. I'm just whenever I get these bills paid and whatever, I'll work on making sure I submit for more auditions. Or you know what? I'm gonna start writing because that inspired me to write something and keeping it at that so it's still aligned with my vision, but like also not putting myself down for something that I didn't get a chance to do or I didn't get to post about on social media because like social media is just a highlight reel too. Like it's just the highlight and
Exactly.
that's it.
Because I'm pretty sure they didn't post their rejection after rejection after rejection, right? They're
Exactly.
showing you what they want you to see. They're not showing you everything.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
then it makes you think about how in their side, like it could have been so perfect. And on your side, it's also not so perfect, but there was probably still some realistic things to have happened that were good things that you could also attain to. It may not be the exact same thing, but you could still have like your quote unquote moment. And it doesn't have to be on social media. It could be if you want it, but social media isn't the true image. It's not that full picture. Um, so I don't use it that much. I'm MIA, and one day I hope I don't have to ever use it. But
Yeah. When I was
yeah.
in college, like my first early years in college, I was big on social media. Like Instagram was my thing. Like I used to take pictures. I loved working on the pictures, like editing and like going out, taking pictures and taking other people's pictures too. It was fun, and then it wasn't fun anymore because people were doing too much. So it's like, it's fun until it's not.
Exactly. And I started using social media when I was like 13, and I feel like I messed up doing that low key. Oh my gosh. But it was much more fun when I first started, but then it started to just get too much. Either the pressure to emulate how people were interacting with each other and how much success that brought them on social media. I'll think about that. And then I'll start to think about, oh man, maybe I'm like doing corny stuff and I'm corny and this person is getting like this much views in this way, and people are talking about what they posted later at school and that makes them look good. And I was just like, dang, like, and and come find out I don't even care about all of that in the first place like that too much. Just mark me when I need to mark it and then calling it a day and
Yeah.
just sharing it with family or
Yeah.
friends.
I just post it and I get off. I don't care if it's liked. I don't care if it's seen anymore. As long as I got it up there, that's an accomplishment for me.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, if you are interested in social media success, all the power to you. Is just I'm saying be careful on comparing
Yeah, and I would
yeah.
never like when back in the day I used to like post videos of us clubbing and stuff. I would never do that today. I would never. I don't want you knowing where I am. I don't want you knowing where I go every day. I don't want you knowing what type of car I have. I'm such
Oh
a
my
private
goodness.
person. You know?
Yes, because it will come out. Because literally, I did a show once, and I was just a little nervous to do like a little dancey dance, and the professor was literally like, "Zeta, I've seen you," and I said, "What? Who
Exactly. I
recorded
always
me
tell people
around?"
put it on private or if don't put it on the internet if you don't want it to be seen because even if it is private, it'll get around.
Luckily, it wasn't that bad, but he was just like, "I know you can dance." I'm like, "Okay, okay, okay."
Yes, once it's on the internet, it's there forever.
Yes, people, yes.
So if you don't mind sharing, what were some of your greatest mistakes in life and do you feel like you still bounce back despite the challenges?
So I have this bad mistake, and honestly, like how it turned out, like I would still say like I'm blessed because it could have became a dangerous situation. But I had a car accident back in 2021, right before I turned 21, and basically I got this car with because I had a scholarship and I was able to have like return checks. I bought this car. Um, COVID was making prices rise. So what I thought I could buy wasn't exactly what was available, right? Because back in 2012, like $3,000, you could get you a decent used car. Thought it was the same thing, but literally, like my little $3,900 wasn't going nowhere. And then I bought this car. It stunk. It smelled like smoke at first. But I was like, I could clean it. I'm gonna save money if I just get this car. It's gonna be worth more when I clean it. I'll get it fixed. Yada yada yada. But I didn't have enough money for insurance. And basically, come to find out, it was infested with roaches. when I was driving
My
home
God,
from
how
work
does
at
that
night.
even happen?
Exactly. I don't even know. And I never was in a car that was infested with roaches. So I thought the smell was just that it was dirty and somebody's sweat and it was hot. It was a hot day. It's
Oh,
Florida. It was like a 90 degrees. I was just thinking it's hot and the smell's permeating because it's hot and it's somebody smoked really bad or something. Like,
oh my God, where did they come from?
I don't even know. I just researched, and some things say that so that person could have just been eating in the car and they sat by a dumpster and they got roaches, or they brought roaches from their home and they got in the car. And once roaches are in your car, they're stuck and it's really hard to get rid of. But I was like, you know what? I spent that 3,000, but guess what? After fees, I didn't have enough money for car insurance. And I messed up signing an affidavit for perjury that I gave the people that sold me the car insurance. They just put some random numbers. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to find the money to get insurance and I'll hurry up and get insurance. For my mom, and you know how I've been talking about my parents, my mom gave me her card info. She said, please get insurance. I never did. The fourth day I had the car, I didn't see my email from my professor saying that our class was going to be on Zoom. I drove, realized we didn't have class, did the Zoom class back at home. No, not back at home. I did the Zoom class in the classroom and was like, I think I'm going to go to the library. Drove, and there was this intersection that had two lights. It was hard to tell, but both of them were red. Then one of them turned green. And I'm thinking, oh, this is my light. I'm not even going more than 20 miles per hour. I get in an accident. Both our cars totaled. And literally, because I was driving without insurance and I technically ran a red light because it wasn't my light, I basically was at fault. I had to suspend my license, couldn't drive for a year, had to go to a driving school and finish it before January of 2022 so that I could still be on track to get my license back. And then I'd either have to possibly consider the fact that I could be sued. Insurance could come after me for the money, or I would have to ask the people if they could basically forgive the damages. And I got lucky because nobody died, first of all, and I didn't die. I didn't get severely hurt, but it was the worst mistake I think I ever made in my life. And I didn't think I could bounce back from it. But
But did
I
you
did.
learn your lesson?
I sure did. I never drive without insurance. And whenever I'm at an intersection that don't make sense, I wait for other people to go, or I keep on looking and looking and looking, and I don't care if somebody honking at me. I'm gonna make sure it's my light, because literally the cop, when he came into the emergency room, because I was like, I don't know if I'm hurt. This was a really bad accident, and I tend to push through pain. So I was like, please, like, just look at me and make sure I'm good, because I don't know. The guy was like, yeah, we had a witness, which was the car right next to you. They said that they were almost gonna go because they thought it was their light too, but they just decided not to. And they saw that there was a light on the far right that looked more like our light. And I didn't see that light. I didn't see it. The other car blocked it. So I learned my lesson. Like, literally the most important lesson was getting insurance. And then the second lesson was don't buy your car from shady places, and save your investment, because that was $3,900 gone. And then the other lesson was to watch where I'm driving. If I'm very unsure, don't be quick to press the gas. Really just be a better driver, a defensive driver and an alert driver. Yeah. And I got so lucky because, I mean, even the people, I think they passed the statute of limitations to try to sue me for the money. So they didn't even sue me. I got lucky. And I mean, I feel like I bounced back only because I just kept on going and did everything that I could to get right on the right side of the law. Really. Like, I went to finish the driving school early. I suspended my license, followed the rules, submitted all my documentation, paid any fees I needed to pay, and then I just never made the same mistake again. Like, oh yeah, I never drive without insurance. And they say millions of Florida people drive without insurance. Like, literally within the same week of my accident, I found out a college classmate of mine was driving without her insurance. I said, girl, I'm your literal warning to get car insurance. Stop driving without your insurance. and she somehow convinced her father to put her car in insurance because her dad didn't want to put her in insurance. Yes, I learned my lesson. I bounced back. I feel like I did. And it was a very hard time in life. Sometimes I think about that 3,900, but then I remember you're 25 and you was allowed to drive since 2022. You're okay. And I've been good.
That's good. I'm glad you weren't hurt. That's good. I
Yes.
think my biggest mistake, I'm thinking, I'm sad to say this, but my biggest mistake was the partner that I chose. That was my biggest mistake. I don't want to dive too much into it in this episode, but yeah, just be mindful of who you are devoting your life to.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage, children, those are all contracts that even if get out of it, uh yeah.
And it's like you're kind of like also not alone in that because there's probably plenty of listeners out there who feel like that's their same. So thank you for still sharing that. Like I really appreciate you sharing that. And I still feel like even just me just looking at you here, like um I feel like I still see that you bounce back in a way, or that you're still making with what you got, right? Like you're still here. So then what I wanted to follow up with then as a response to what you're saying is um basically like looking at where you are now and where you feel like you're heading. Do you feel like you're on a path towards your version of success, or where do you feel like you are in life now? And it's okay to share whatever you're comfortable sharing.
Of course. I think that I am always improving. I'm always doing my best. I'm always learning. I'm a forever student. So, am I on a path towards success? I am on the path towards my version of success. Yes.
Period. Period. I feel
What about
like,
you?
yeah, I feel like I am on that path. It was not the exact path that I wanted to. Like I did not want to be paying a high car note because messing with my credit when I was in college, and throwing my money away on a shady auto company and not protecting what I spent on for insurance. But I'm like, you know what? I still overcame it, and overcoming it rather than succumbing to it is still, I feel like, my version of success, and also what I feel like I've been giving. And I feel like this path that I'm on, I'm also allowing myself to forgive myself for those past mistakes and for the guilt that I may hold for things that is out of my control, because I felt like I've always been a hard worker, but I used to have like a whole lot of I'm working on the guilt, but I used to feel a whole lot of guilt for things I couldn't control because I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm working so hard. I know I'm a hard worker, but these bills are eating everything up, or I was at risk for homelessness, and it wasn't even like my fault because I had a witness who was there to prove that I didn't do what was being said I done. Um, and I'm like, you know what? You still did what you could. Like now I have my own apartment, and like I feel like I still have my 2 feet, my 2 legs, my education, and the power for me to pick up where I left off when it comes to performing, or pick up where I left off for writing, and pick up and still also give back, because I think that little girl me that wants to give back, like I'm doing it now. I'm working with Grounded Stars. It feels good. So I feel like I'm on a path towards my version of success. Like I wouldn't say I'm all the way here, and I don't think that pressure to do it all by 21. I think it's long gone because now I'm 25. Like, so I'm just like, okay, well, it's fine. It's fine. And whenever it comes, it comes. But yeah, I still feel like I'm on that path. Like, I think I need to forgive myself a little bit more. And I think like the lack of forgiveness for myself might be steering me off just a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, and it's okay to fail. I've failed many times. Um, Everybody has gone through failure. Every single famous person, celebrity, president, everybody has dealt with failure in some way, shape, or form. And these are just learning, lessons and tools that you are able to use in order to continue to improve yourself.
Exactly. Like allowing yourself to fail. And if you do fail, being compassionate with yourself. And if there's any room for improvement, like taking that head on. Like yes, thank you for saying that.
I say that because people think that they are not able to fail and get back up.
You know what? And I used to be like that. And it is so tiring.
It is tiring, and again, everybody does have their limits. I know I do, but you can make it through. You can get back up.
Exactly. Exactly. So, oh, I just lost my train of thought.
But it is great and even highly recommended to have goals, but again, make sure they're realistic and have a vision for your life that is yours, not someone else's. That's the important part. Make sure you are living for you and not for someone else, not a partner, not a parent. Make sure you're making decisions for yourself. And just remember to not put that unnecessary pressure on yourself so that you can get applause from other people, because that applause from other people, is that really fulfilling you? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Zetha and I recommend implementing goal making strategies like SMART goals, which is short for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound goals. Using logs to identify unhealthy or harmful patterns can help too. Slow and steady often wins the race. One thing that I love to do is have a visual planner, not just on my phone, but like something that I can write things down on, because it's just something that you can grab when you have an idea or something, if you want to write something down that you want to remember or plan ahead, or, just have like a writing tool that you can grab on the side of you.
Yes, because I think like just using those strategies will kind of put you on a path to where you focus on what you can do, not what others expect you to do, not what society expects you to do, and keeping yourself accountable in a way, so that you can improve in the areas that you failed or not as strong at.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining us in this conversation about what it is like to feel pressure to have it all together by 21. Remember that not everybody has the money and the means to have everything together by 21. It is okay if it takes you longer. It's okay if you have to fail in order to get back up again. It's all a learning lesson. It's okay to have a vision on your life. Just make sure, again, that it's yours, and don't let extra pressure from external factors dictate how you view your life.
Exactly. And earlier we talked about our personal struggles and mistakes, and we hope that you found those little blurbs or moments to relate to, because we've been there. Me and Kira are past 21, but we still are
Oh, wait,
recognizing where
that's
we are in our
good.
life. But we can still see and give ourselves our kudos and also be real with ourselves, right? Nobody's life is the same. Success looks different for all of us. So again, what matters most is holding yourself accountable to your best ability, create those goals, tune out that irrelevant noise, and most importantly, be kind to yourself.
Always be kind to yourself, because if you're not kind to yourself, other people will not be kind to you either.
Mm-hmm.
So if you felt this conversation, follow us wherever you get your podcasts, share it with a friend, and join us on this healing journey.
And next time, we're diving into a conversation about navigating family expectations as a marginalized young adult.
Oh my. So don't forget to visit us at www.groundedstars.com to book a class today.
We'll see you guys again soon.
Bye.
Bye.